Tutor Polly, back with another question. Find the parametric equation moving clockwise along this equation here, starting at 3, 1. So the first step here is to mark it up. We need that important information. Clockwise is super important, the equation, and the new starting location of 3, 1. That's important. Well, the next step is to remember cosine squared plus sine squared is equal to 1. You need to know that. And the next step is to put our equation in the correct form. We need it to equal 1, not 9. And we need some squares there. So 9 is 3 squared. We're going to divide by 3 squared now. You'll get 1 on the right side. That's what we wanted. You'll factor out the exponent because both of those, the x squared, the 3 squared, the term with the y, they're all squared, right? So you can factor out that. And now it's looking pretty good. Well, if cosine squared plus sine squared is equal to 1, then x over 3 squared is equal to cosine squared, and the other term will be equal to sine squared. Now we're going to put a little asterisk on that. We'll come back to that because there's some more things to say about that. So cosine squared equals x over 3 squared. We can cancel off the squares, and so x equals 3 cosine of t. All right, awesome. That's great. And we will show how this corresponds to our starting point at 3, 1. Now, sine squared equals the other term, y minus 1 over 3 squared. Well, that's for counterclockwise. That's our normal direction. But in this case, we don't want counterclockwise. We want clockwise. So we're going to put a negative in there. The squares will cancel out just like the other one. And we're left with negative sine of t equals the right side. Well, now we can just isolate y. And by moving the 1 over, y equals this, negative 3 sine of t plus 1. Well, the next part is trust with verification. Make a table. See if it really is doing what you think it's supposed to be doing. So our table is going to be t, x, and y. And our first value for t is 0. Will we indeed start at 3, 1? Well, we'll find out. We're going to go plug in to those equations in the top right that we just found. Well, 3 cosine of 0 is 3. And negative 3 sine of 0 plus 1, that's 1. Okay, 3, 1, that's what we wanted. Well, the next two locations are going to be pi over 2, which is just 90 degrees, and pi, which is just 180. Use your unit circle if you need to. Use your calculator. Who cares? Just make sure it's in the right mode. So we're going to plug in pi over 2 to both the x and the y equations here, and we'll get 0 and negative 2. And then we're going to plug in the pi, and we'll get negative 3 and 1. Well, let's go draw it. That's the last step. Is it going clockwise or not? Well, we needed more than 2 points to demonstrate this. I think we need at least 3. Well, there's the first point. There's the second point. There's the third point. It indeed is going clockwise. I hope this helps.